Hello students. In the last video we have discussed how to enter the elements in a two-dimensional array, or you can say matrix. So in the last video we have discussed in theoretically. So if you have not watched the last video, I recommend you to watch the last video first and after that come to this video. Okay. So in this video we'll discuss the program, C++ program, how we have entered the, or how we'll enter the elements in a matrix, or you can say two-dimensional array. So for that, first, since we are uh, performing function in an array, so we need a array. So we have taken an array named a of size 20, 20, that is the maximum size, right? So it is two-dimensional array, that's why two we have to take, one represent the row, another represent the column. So maximum size will be 20, 20. All right. Next, rows and columns, since I am giving the users the power to select or to create the array, so user must have the option to enter the number of rows or number of columns he wants. So these two variable will store the numbers entered by the user. Okay, then I and j is for the counter. So if you forgot, just recall that I have taught in the last video that we need two counters. The first counter is for the number of rows, okay, and the second counter will be for the column. Okay, so next what we will do, I will ask the user to enter the number of rows, okay, which will be stored in rows, this variable. Then I will ask the user to enter the number of columns, so that will be stored in cols variable. Okay, then I will say or ask the user to enter the elements in the matrix or in the two-dimensional array. For that, what we will do, we will do what, we will run two loops. Okay, so we will run two loops. The first loop is for the row, right? So again I am saying, if you have doubt or you have forgot the topic that we have discussed in the last video, just watch the last video, recall it, and then come to this video. Okay, so first we'll run the loop for row, and after that, inside that, we'll run the loop for columns. So why is it like that? Why I am not running the loops for column at the beginning? Because in two-dimensional array or in a matrix, always say if it is represented as mxn, always the first one is represented as what? Rows, right? Always the first is represented as rows and then second is represented as column. So that's why for that the first one, so the first loop is for rows and the second loop will be for columns inside the rows. Okay, so I is indicating the row number and j will be indicating the column number. Okay, so whatever the value will be entered here. Okay, so it will be a, right? After that what, so here we have entered the elements, so that means this portion completes the input of the elements in the matrix. Okay, so say I have already entered the elements in the matrix. After that I have to see my matrix, means what are the elements that I have entered. For that I will use what, this portion of the code. Okay, this portion of the code does what, it tells or it shows the user what we have entered. So it will give the output. So here it is the input, here it is the output, you can say. So now let's see what happens here. So for display the loop will be same, because again we have to display what, the values or elements inside the index, right? So here I am taking the elements inside the index, I am giving the input, and here I am taking out the elements that are inside the index to be displayed, right? So for that same loop, first the loop is for rows, second the loop is for arrays, and after that here is the difference. Here I have taken input, here I am giving what output. See out, that is the values that are stored in this index will be displayed, right? Then slash n means what? See here the column loop ends, right? Here the column loop ends, and here the row loop ends. So why we have used slash n? To change the line or to change the rows while displaying. Okay, so let's take an example. Say someone has entered the number of rows. Say the user enters the rows value as 2, and again user enters the columns value at 2. Now what will happen? When the loop will run, the loop will for rows, the loop I value will be what? 0 to 1, right? Why? Because the I is starting from 0 and it will run up to less than rows. So less than rows is 2, so less than row 2 means 1, right? So if someone has entered 4, the I value will run from 0 to 3, not 4, because it is less than, not less than equal, it is less than, right? So that's why if someone has entered number of rows as 4, the I value will be 0, 1 to 3, right? Similarly for J, value will be what? Here we have entered 2 columns, so that is the value of J will be 0 to 1, right? So now for the first, when the loop runs for the first iteration, I value will be 0, right? And then J value will be 0. So the first element that will be entered will be stored in the index value A of 0, 0, right? Then 0 will be incremented, 0 becomes 1, then second value will be stored in 0, 1, right? So this process I have already discussed in my last video. I will give the link above. If you have problem, just watch it. Alright, so similar thing happens in the display. So the programming is very easy. Let's see the output. Alright, so let's say number of rows 2, say number of columns we take 3. After that enter the elements. So look, this is the output. So the first element that I have entered is entered in 0, 0, right? Second element I have entered in 0, 1 position, that is index value. Third element that is entered is stored in 0, 3. After that the row ends, so line changed. So this line is changed. Why? Because of this slash n, right? So in the second row, here fourth element that I have entered is stored in 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 2, right? So see, number of rows that I have entered is 2, so here number of rows is 2, right? And number of columns that I have entered was 3, so 3 columns, right? So it is correct. So I hope you have got the explanation. So if you have any problem, if you are facing any problem, just contact me, I will explain it more clearly. Alright.